What is up, YouTube? And today I want to talk about the state of events in Etheria Restart. Now, Etheria Restart has been out for almost 3 weeks now, and we've kind of come to the conclusion that there's two types of events. We have the challenge events, which are available by battling through stages. For example, Cage Rumble, and sometimes the Cubic Dice we've had. Now we have the Shell Story. And sometimes we have these random events in the event tab where you can buy out the store by going through, I think we just had Chakra Ring's Adventure. Now, talking about this type of event first, we have Candy Party. First off, we've had this event in the past, so they're recycling events already, which is kind of sus. I don't know why they're recycling events already, but okay. I guess this is a way to just give us more stamina every day. That's what they're using it for. But sometimes there's like a shop here, especially in the last one for Chakra Ring's Adventure, and you can't buy it out all the time, and I think that's pretty frustrating for a lot of players. This time around for Candy Party, you can actually get everything, but I wish that they make it more consistent so that the rewards are maybe not buying out everything from the shop, but at least like 80% I feel like you should be able to buy. But in the last one, when you can buy out the shop, we only got like 80, I'd say like 60%, 50% even. So yeah, I think they should make that change. It just feels really bad. You're just missing out on a lot of materials in your face. But I think it's not the biggest deal because you have to pick and choose like which mats you want. But I think the bigger problem here is going to be the other events, especially in the challenges. So if you guys remember from week 2, we had the train event, which pretty much had you go through like a train and you could only use certain elements. I think that event's okay, but the timing of the event on week 2 was pretty weird because a lot of people didn't have a lot of characters built. Now we have the Cage Rumble. So the Cage Rumble, the way it works, even I'm struggling to do this, is you pretty much need 3 fully built teams. Now, you don't need to have 3 fully built teams. If you actually look in the rules here, you can actually have 1 Animus on a team. So technically, you can have only 7 and just completely sandbag 3 other teams. So for example, you could completely sandbag Nico and then Sharon and then full send on this one. But obviously, that's not ideal, right? And that's because you want to score as high as you can, because in the Rumble quest, for the duration of the event, if you can reach like a score of like 2,000 or 3,000, it starts from 300 and goes to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you get parts of Perfect Lattice, the SSR Lattice. The summons or whatever, to be honest, but the biggest thing is the lattice that you can get from here. And locking it behind this feels really bad for newer players. And I think it's because they don't have a lot of characters built, and even if they do, they don't really have the modules to support it because you cannot rotate your modules in it. Basically, you're going into this with 15 units and they cannot share any gear or shells, so it just feels super, super bad. And I think the event is actually a good event, don't get me wrong. I just think the timing on it is very weird. Like we're in week 3, and if I just look at the chat here in a random channel, you can see like, yeah, we have some high levels, but mostly they're gonna be like level 40, level 30, and we just recently had a server open up, right? So that just signals to me that they're kind of just not really caring about the player base and they're catering more towards the day 1 players. And this is mostly an event for day 1 players, to be honest. Even if you're free to play, you can probably do most of this as day 1. But even then, it's going to be obviously better for whales. Now, the event does last for 2 weeks, so we do have a lot of time to actually gear up and do it. But I think the timing of this event's release is very bad. I think events like this are good for the game because it does encourage you to build a lot of characters. But I think this should have been released probably next month, honestly. Like month 2 or 3 of the game, this probably would have been way better because that way more people can participate and just feels better for everyone. And I think that was like a big thing with Ethernet Rally too. Ethernet Rally just ended and now we have the new one starting up. And this is like kind of similar, but not as bad. People were definitely struggling with Ethernet Rally 2 because you do need 3 teams as well, but you can swap your gear and swap characters around. You can see I have Vice, for example, in 2 of my teams at the bottom here. And you can always just swap the gear. And even then, it seemed like people were struggling like before the reset for this, which resets every 3 weeks. And now they're just slapping us with the Cage Rumble, which requires you to have 3 fully built teams. So yeah, I really wish that they don't do events like this where you're having to actually have so many units built. Right now, I think later on it's definitely fine, but right now it just feels terrible because if you're free to play and then playing every day, most of you free to play players will still probably not be able to field an entire roster, considering I can barely do it. So yeah, I think like this type of event, the Shell Story event, is actually a very well designed event because you're going around and you can strategize how you use your dice. And obviously we have the shop here as well. I guess this is like the thing I was talking about earlier where you can't buy out the shop. This shop as well, you're not going to be able to buy out, so you want to prioritize what you buy. I already bought the stability because energy is like the most important resource for me. But definitely like Shadow Prince and Lattice is very good. Just keep in mind you will not be able to buy this out, so you want to be very careful in how you spend your currency. But yeah, events like this are pretty good as long as they reduce the shop cost, honestly, because there's a lot of rewards you can get and it's not punishing for anyone. But, you know, the Cage Rumble and the Train event we've had definitely feels pretty weird. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what I thought about it. I think, you know, just to summarize, I think like these stage events which lock you behind multiple characters being built is good for the game. I just think the timing is very bad in when they released it. I really wish they, you know, did this with maybe like 2 teams. Like, I don't know why they didn't just do like the first version with only 2 teams. Like just Nico, Nana, and Sharon. That would have been just way better. Or like a light and dark boss, right? Similar to Phantom Theater. That would have been way more fun. Or like anything else, honestly. But I just wanted to let you guys know how I feel about it. I wanted to know your guys' opinion. I think maybe you guys agree, maybe you don't. I think the majority of people do agree though, because I've been talking with other content creators and friends about it. I think it definitely feels really bad right now, but I think in the future it could be a great event with great rewards. But thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.